Hi everyone! We have had some cold nights here, at least for us here in Southern California. It's been down in the low 30s. Today I want to show you how to make a quick, simple, inexpensive winter cover to protect some of your warm weather veggies. Let's go. Now the reason why your warm weather veggies need protection in the wintertime is because they're meant to grow in warm temperatures. But here in Southern California and in mild winter climates, a lot of times you can overwinter or grow over the winter some of your warm weather veggies like this tiny Tim tomato here. Now, if we do get a light frost or even a freeze though, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, all those warm weather veggies will not survive. So on nights when it gets down to 32 degrees like we've had several times here this week, I want to cover my plants so it doesn't get cold damage. It's got tons of flowers and tomatoes on it, and I really would love to continue getting some tomatoes through the winter time. So to make our super easy winter cover, all you need is just three things. You want to look around your garden and see what you have. You don't want to spend a ton of money. I just dug through my garden shed and I found these poles that were left over from an old trellis and some cedar stakes. So just find what you have around your garden, use it, and then make it work. You want to have the poles be a little bit taller than your plants, so that way when you put your winter cover on, it doesn't damage your plants. So I'm just going to put one of these poles in each of the corners here of this little shorty 3-foot raised bed. You want them just up above your plants a little bit. The Tiny Tim is nice because it's only about 2 feet tall, so it's a great one to cover without having to use tons and tons of effort. Got my stakes in. The next thing I'm going to need is some 4 or 6 mil plastic. The colder it's going to be, the thicker you're going to need. This is a 6 mil, and then you're going to need some clips. Now, I like to put these clips kind of on my coat or my jeans or whatever I'm wearing, just so they're handy to grab when I'm throwing my plastic over. So I'm going to spread out my plastic, and you do want to cut a piece of plastic to drape over the sides of your pot, so you can keep all the cold air out that you can. Spread it out, drape it over, and clip it on. Now, how I like to clip it is I like to clip the sides first and then do the ends, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. You don't have to clip every square inch of the sides, but you do want to pull it tight so that you can seal out as much of the cold air as possible. These binder clips are really handy too. So I have each side clipped with 3 clips on each side. To do the end, what I like to do is just kind of pull the ends out here nice and tight and kind of fold them over like a little envelope. That way it really seals the plastic so the cold air doesn't get in. And then clip it over here on the side. Same to the back. So you just kind of customize it depending on what type of container you're covering. And if you have a lot of tomatoes growing in the wintertime, you may not be able to cover all of your tomatoes, but at least you can protect some of your special ones from the cold air. And I really like to start covering my tomato plants when it's down, I'd say in the 34 to 32 degree range, and it really, really does help. Now let me show you another way that you can cover a tomato that's in a container with a taller trellis. Super important, in the morning, as soon as the sun comes up, take the plastic cover off. You'll heat up very quickly under there, and you don't want your plants to get overheated. Now for this winter cover, I'm going to use an old moving blanket. This is a very heavy-duty blanket. It's going to work really well for these little tiny Tims in the 15-gallon Smart Pots with the taller trellis. So for this one, I'm actually going to go up above and show you guys how to do this. You can use an old quilt for this. And it does provide a little bit heavier type of protection because the blanket is so thick, but it is heavier, so you need a heavier duty trellis to attach it to. So for this, I've got my blanket here kind of doubled over. Just going to kind of wrap my pot in it like so. Wrap it around here. So if you have a container or a tomato with a tomato cage over it, this would work really well for that too. So I'm just tucking it in so it's nice and warm and cozy. And I'm kind of leaving a little bit of slack here at the top. I'll show you why in just a moment. You want your slack to kind of go to the other side of the trellis. Now for this one, you need a nice heavy duty clip to attach it to the trellis. And then the little slack part that you left, you're going to clip at the top. So again, we're sealing this cover from the cold air to protect the tomato plant. So you southern gardeners who still have some tomatoes or warm weather veggies left in your garden, look around your house, have your supplies on hand, so when your nights dip in the 30s, you'll be ready and your tomato plants will be protected. Head over to CaliKimGardeningHome.com to take advantage of our clearance sale, 50% off all seed collections only with the code WINTERGARDEN, and that sale goes until December 26th. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.